Alright, so today I will be discussing the importance of education. As a college student, I am slowly beginning to learn that degrees are more and more important. Now, granted, it has taken me longer as a student to get my degree than I would have liked because of moving with my husband's job in the military and my 2 children and such and such. I have learned the hard way that obtaining a degree is becoming the norm to the degree of becoming the expectation. What used to be the high school diploma is now the new bachelor's. The new bachelor's is now the new master's. So as time goes on and as our society becomes more learned and as we begin to increase and demand more educated positions, especially as our technology grows and advances, it calls for more professionals in specified areas of study, which can only be obtained through degrees, which then leaves those without kind of on the outskirts. So it's safe to say that education is vital for success in the workplace. More than 80% of all high school graduates attend college every year in pursuit of either a 4 or 2-year degree, with more than 600 of those students going on to pursue a master's. That has also increased, well, actually doubled since the 1980s. Back then, it was usually the norm that individuals would go to school, attend college for their bachelor's, and then be done. But now it's becoming the norm that as soon as one graduates with a bachelor's, they move immediately on to their master's degrees. Not to mention that more jobs nowadays demand master's degrees. So if one has an occupation in mind, a master's degree is without question the degree they need to obtain. So also nearly 2 in 25 people ages 25 and over have a master's degree, about the same proportion that had a bachelor's degree in 1960. I don't know if this directly correlates to our society becoming more educated so much as it is an example of our expectations increasing as a society. And this is kind of evident through the fact that more jobs are now requiring entry-level positions with a minimum of a master's degree. Nowadays, most kindergarten teachers or K through 12 teachers require master's degrees. Teachers of high school students and middle school students already require specialized degrees such as English, history, psychology, etc., while grade school teachers still only require a bachelor's degree, but there are many states moving into the requirement of master's degrees for those positions. Many managerial positions are now requiring bachelor's degrees, with a master's preferred expectation, with many blanket degrees no longer making the grade. So many of them now used to be a bachelor's of social work, bachelor's of psychology, the liberal arts degree. Many of these will now no longer make the grade. They need to be more specialized. They need to be a master's in criminal justice administration with a specialization in correctional facility management, which to some degree limits one's job opportunities because of how specified the degree is. However, the significant pay increase and the likelihood to land the job that you desire in that field is much more likely. So it's kind of a cost and benefit trade that many students kind of play the game during their education. So obtaining a master's degree in the right job market is key. So if one wants to just go and obtain a master's degree, there's really no guarantee that you will get the job you want in a field or an area or a career that you desire. And so it's all about picking the right degree that's in the job market right now that's in demand. So many times it's not necessarily about the degree, but the job market in that degree field that affects your pay. So engineers, for example, make upwards of a three-figure income with just a bachelor's, while teachers with master's degrees make less than $40,000 a year. So it's not necessarily the degree that will mandate your success, so to speak, or your pay, but the job or the career that you are pursuing. And many jobs now require master's degrees, but still pay the same as they did when they only required bachelor's degrees several years ago. So receiving little to no increase in pay does not begin to supplement the costs of obtaining the degree. So, for example, a teacher. So if a teacher is now required to not only have a bachelor's degree, but a master's degree, that's upwards of $80,000+ in loans when they are still only making $30,000 to $50,000 a year, depending on states and regions and the teacher's salary. But that's still significantly lower than other career fields who are only requiring a bachelor's that are making more. So a teacher is going to be paid the same whether or not they have a bachelor's or master's, depending on when you were hired. This I can understand makes a little people upset. I can totally empathize with that, thinking, you know, in order to get this job that I am still only going to make $35,000 a year doing, in order to even get that job, I need to add yet another $40,000 of student loans onto that, which most people pay back in monthly installments. So that's about $1,000 check every month that you're paying towards your student loans when you're really only making $2,000 a month. A lot of people, this can be very frustrating too, but that's just the way that our society is going now. So the specificity of your degree can either harm or help your opportunity for success in the job market. As I spoke about before, if you are dead set on a certain job or career, picking a specified degree is definitely the way to go if you're not going or not willing to accept any degrees other than that which you are pursuing. For a career, then it's beneficial. If you were kind of in question about what you'd like to do with a career, so you're just obtaining a master's in hopes that it will just land you a job somewhere, your salary is going to be affected by that. So making sure that you pick a lane for a career is the most important part as far as the success, the monetary benefits, and all the other things that kind of come with one's career, which is definitely something to think about. So most of the time it's not the degree that affects your salary, but the job market, as we spoke about before. And on average, an individual with a master's degree makes $6,000 more than an individual with a bachelor's degree. So choosing the right career can optimize your financial compensation for your degree level. As an example, a maritime engineer, on average, with just a bachelor's degree, makes $90,000 to $100,000 a year. RNs can make an average of $35 an hour with just a bachelor's degree, while individuals with an MBA can expect to make a regular three-figure income ranging from $100,000 to upwards of $200,000, depending on the company. The downside of that is teachers often require master's degrees, as we talked about, while only making $35,000 a year. Likewise, masters with social work and either an LCPC or a licensed clinical social worker make on average $50,000 a year. Both of those requiring master's degrees. In the case of teachers, it's usually master's degrees preferred, while still only making half of what the latter or aforementioned degrees and specializations can usually expect for a salary. However, with that said, any degree is better than no degree. On average, an individual with an associate's degree can expect to make $15,000 a year, more than that of a high school graduate. Likewise, an individual with a bachelor's degree can expect to make $20,000 a year, more than someone with a high school diploma alone. Someone with a master's degree, on average, between $25,000 to $35,000, and anyone with a PhD can expect to make more than $50,000 to $100,000 more a year than an individual with just a diploma. So either way, Obtaining a degree is just the way to go. Education is incredibly paramount to establishing one's career, providing for your family, yourself, your financial success, etc. The more education won't hurt, so it's also just about being wise and choosing very carefully, and not thinking that education is just simply the answer. It's also about picking a specialized field or area of study that benefits your career in order to make your education worthwhile, so that in essence it pays for itself, and it's a good insurance policy to make sure that your career and your degree match up. So it's all about a balance, but no matter what, education is the way to go. It is proven that in order, if you want to be successful, starting this journey to education is the very first step.